sitting in the fridge overnight. It's a completely different consistency than it was yesterday. It's really hard now. It's going to be really great to work with for our shapes. We've also got some parchment paper here and my favorite baking pans ever. They're from Williams-Sonoma. They're non-stick. They've got a little air pocket right down the middle here that lends itself to not hard bottom cookies, no burnt bottoms. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to flour the parchment paper. We're going to roll the cookie dough out directly on the pan and the parchment paper. That way, all we have to do when we want to pull the extra dough away from the shapes is just pull them away, and you don't have to deal with moving the shapes around, messing them up. So, alright, so we'll put some flour down here. So we don't want the dough to stick. I don't know if I'm going to have enough muscle to roll this out. We'll see. We're going to start to roll this out, and my bad, we need to flour this as well. Don't want it sticking to the rolling pin. And you want to try and roll it out before it gets warm, because the warmer it gets, the stickier it's going to get. Alright, get it rolled out. Not too thin, we want them to be nice and chewy and soft, so maybe about a 1/4 inch thick. And then we'll put some of our fun shapes in it. Rolling it out. It's getting sticky, it's getting a little messy. This is why I changed into this versus yesterday with the disaster that was my electric mixer. So now that we've got our dough all rolled out and nice and flat, it's time to put the shapes in, the fun part. So, what do we got? We've got gingerbread men, bells, trees. So we're just going to go ahead and start pressing our shapes into the dough. Alright, so make sure they're spaced evenly apart. We'll do gingerbread man next. These are nice and thick, so they're going to expand a little bit. What do we want? Let's do a candy cane. Do another gingerbread man. We're getting down to the wire. Last part of the dough. And maybe a little bitty star. And then you just want to go ahead and start peeling away the excess to leave your shapes in place. There's our tree. All the excess dough is pulled away. We've got our beautiful shapes. They're ready to go in the oven. We've got our Christmas trees, gingerbread boys, heart stars, all the good stuff for Christmas, ready to be decorated. We're going to throw them in the oven for 6 to 8 minutes, probably 6 minutes because I like my cookies super soft. So we'll throw them in and then we'll see you back after they're done. So after you're done baking your cookies for those 6 minutes at about 400 degrees on the oven, you want to take them out and use that parchment paper. It's nice and slippery, so it'll slide them nicely out onto this cooling rack. They'll look not done when you take them out. They might look like they need to cook a while longer, but you don't want them to get to the point where they're getting golden brown, because then once they get out on the rack, they're going to be too hard. So you want to closely watch and see how the edges here are just a slight golden brown, just a little hint of color there, like this star. That's perfect, because once they get on that cooling rack, they'll firm up and they'll be perfect soft Christmas cookies for decorating. Next up, we're going to bake the rest of the batch, and then we're going to go on to the frosting. So we're back. I've got with me my roommate Erin, and we're ready to decorate cookies. All of our cookies are baked and ready to be decorated. I made up some frosting. It's made of 5 tablespoons of milk, 4 cups of confectioner's sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, and a 1/2 cup of butter. It called for shortening, but I just prefer the flavor of butter, so to each his own if you want to make that substitution. So we've got our sprinkles and we've got some baggies so we can make different colors, and we're all ready to go. So we'll see you back after the cookies are all made.